the consumers are not supporting as much as the political leadership was expecting the EV ramp up. And the consumers, they are very clear in what they expect from us. They expect safe, clean, and affordable mobility.
Carlo Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, has stirred up quite the storm in the automotive world, especially for the beloved brand Jeep. This automotive giant brand has long been known for its ruggedness and iconic designs, but under Tavares' watch, things are shifting in a way that leaves fans scratching their heads. Will the transformative changes threaten Jeep's adventurous spirit? Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for Jeep? What exactly went down? And what did Carlos Tavares do to make this so bad for Jeep? A legend in decline. Jeep, a legendary name in American automotive history, is currently facing a storm of financial and sales difficulties that's hard to ignore. The picture isn't pretty. 5 years in a row of dwindling sales has led to a significant erosion of its once mighty market presence. Looking at the sales decline, it's clear something has gone awry. In 2018, Jeep sold a striking 973,200 vehicles. Fast forward to just last year, and that number has plummeted to just under 643,000. We're talking about nearly a 30% drop over this span, a staggering fall from grace. And as if that wasn't shocking enough, during the first half of 2024, sales took another hit, sliding down by an additional 9% compared to the same time frame in 2023. The trajectory isn't just alarming, it's downright unsettling, and unfortunately this downturn isn't confined to Jeep alone. It's impacting its parent company, Stellantis, which reported a total sales dip of 21% across all its brands. And let's talk about inventory, because Jeep is sitting on a significant surplus. Dealer lots are overflowing with more vehicles than is typical on a national scale. As of June 2023, Jeep had a supply of vehicles that stood at 77 days, while the average for all manufacturers hovered around 53 days. That's a huge discrepancy. This overabundance of stock has led the company to roll out aggressive discounting strategies to get cars moving off the lots. This raises the question, how did Jeep find itself in this situation, and who's being held accountable for the fallout? Let me explain. But before we dive into that, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Price hikes. The introduction of luxury models like the Grand Wagoneer highlights Stellantis' ambition to carve out a niche in the upscale vehicle market, striving to compete with elite brands like Land Rover and Lexus. But here's the kicker. As they shift gears into this high-end lane, a cloud of confusion and disappointment is hanging over longtime Jeep fans. For decades, Jeep has been synonymous with affordable and accessible off-road vehicles, not luxury price tags that seem to belong in premium brand territory. Let's talk numbers. Specifically, the jaw-dropping fact that over the past 5 years, Stellantis has ramped up Jeep prices by an astonishing 50%. Can you believe that? A move of this magnitude inevitably alienates many of the brand's longtime supporters and enthusiasts. By attempting to go upscale, Stellantis appears to have lost sight of the very essence of what Jeep stands for: ruggedness, affordability, and that adventurous spirit that resonates with so many. Take the iconic Jeep Wrangler, for instance. This classic model, which once welcomed adventurers with open arms at a more accessible entry price, now starts at over $40,000. Unsurprisingly, devoted fans of the Jeep brand are feeling pushed out, as these inflated price tags starkly contrast with the values that originally attracted them to Jeep. It is disheartening for those who have long admired the brand and relied on its vehicles for their adventures, only to find themselves faced with financial barriers that seem to betray their loyalty. But the fallout from this pricing overhaul doesn't stop at alienating customers. It is also doing a number on Jeep's sales performance. What we're witnessing is a concerning disconnect between pricing and brand identity, which has tangible consequences. As it turns out, this disconnect is putting strain after strain on Stellantis' overall financial stability. As of their recent financial report, the company revealed a staggering 48% decline in net income during the first half of 2024. This alarming dip primarily stems from a combination of dwindling sales numbers and a troubling mix of vehicle vehicle offerings. The situation goes beyond simple economics. Jeep entered a realm where price hikes translate to expectations for higher quality and performance, something they need to deliver effectively to justify the new price ranges. And while Stellantis has clearly made strides in luxury upgrades, the extensive hike in price has left customers feeling more undervalued than ever, questioning if these new offerings truly deliver the Jeep experience they have known and loved for years. This industry shakeup has not just sent prices soaring, it has also brought some unwelcome attention to their inventory levels. With such a drop in sales, the question remains, how does Stellantis plan to navigate a sea of unsold vehicles? What happens when they continue to churn out models that aren't resonating with the very consumers who have supported the brand through thick and thin? Inventory concerns are no trifling matter. They can lead to increased costs in storage and logistics, thereby accumulating financial pressure on an already struggling company. What's even more concerning is the broader implications of such a downturn. If Jeep continues down this rocky road of disconnection with its customer base while simultaneously facing quality issues, it might not be just a single brand on the line. The entire Stellantis franchise could encounter significant hiccups if this pattern isn't addressed promptly. Adding to the complexity is Stellantis' ambitious shift from gasoline-powered vehicles to an all-electric lineup. This transition comes with its own set of challenges. As CEO Carlos Tavares has pointed out, the need for cost-cutting measures has never been more pressing. Electric vehicles currently cost around 40% more than their gasoline counterparts, which means Stellantis has to tread carefully to keep those electric vehicle prices affordable for consumers. Streamlining their operations is crucial to maintaining profitability while navigating this expensive shift in production. Fiery dilemmas. Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, is currently navigating through a perfect storm of operational challenges that could seriously damage consumer trust in the beloved automotive brand. The situation has worsened due to alarming investigations into reports of engine fires in various Jeep models produced between 2021 and 2023. We're talking about approximately 781,500 vehicles that might be at risk, and here's the kicker. These fires have been known to ignite even when the ignition is completely off. This raises some significant safety red flags and concerns for everyone involved. Diving deeper into the investigation of these engine fires, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has stepped up to the plate. They officially launched an investigation after receiving multiple complaints from Jeep owners about engine-related fires. What is incredibly unsettling is that most of these incidents have been noted to occur at the passenger side of the engine compartment while the vehicle is off. As of September 2024, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has managed to document 9 complaints related to these alarming occurrences, one of which even resulted in an injury. Thankfully, there have been no reported fatalities, but that doesn't diminish the seriousness of the situation. The primary goal of this investigation is to uncover the underlying causes and frequency of these fires, which preliminary reports suggest could be linked to electrical connectors associated with the power steering pump, a critical component that not only affects functionality but safety as well. The potential risk of a vehicle catching fire while the ignition is off presents a daunting threat not just to those inside the vehicle, but also to bystanders and nearby structures. Can you imagine walking by a parked Jeep and witnessing it spontaneously burst into flames? Michael Brooks, the director of the Center for Auto Safety, has proactively urged Jeep owners who find themselves in this predicament to park their vehicles outdoors until more information is available. This precautionary measure is about mitigating the risks of damage to property or injury to individuals nearby. Who wants to play with fire when it can be avoided? But that's not all. In addition to the ongoing dread surrounding engine fires, Stellantis has recently announced recalls for over 1.46 million vehicles due to separate software issues that could compromise electronic stability control systems. Let's face it, this situation does nothing to help restore consumer confidence. Instead, it only adds salt to the wound, while further straining Stellantis' already challenged financial resources as they battle this storm. And there's more. Certain Jeep models like the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee are being recalled over concerns about potential internal failures in high-voltage batteries. These failures could lead to vehicle fires, whether parked or on the move. Talk about a risk. Jeep owners are being instructed not to recharge their vehicles until they're taken in for repairs, which adds yet another layer of inconvenience to a situation that's already spiraling. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, and this was the end of the story, think again. There's another curveball coming. A workforce on the brink. In October 2024, Stellantis made headlines with the announcement of indefinite layoffs at its Warren Truck Assembly plant in Michigan, where about 1,100 workers will be affected. This plant is the hub for producing popular models like the Ram 1500 Classic and the Jeep Wagoneer. It's worth noting that these layoffs coincided with the end of production for the Ram 1500 Classic, which has been phased out following this current model year. It's like saying goodbye to an old friend, and it is a bumpy transition for those who relied on that job for their livelihood. Initially, Stellantis had braced itself for a more severe reduction, warning that up to 2,450 positions might be cut at the Warren plant. However, the final numbers turned out to be significantly lower than those gloomy predictions. While that may sound like a glimmer of hope, it still brings its own set of challenges. Union representatives pointed out that although some of the more experienced workers might be shuffled into different roles or plants, many individuals who have only recently joined the workforce could find themselves facing tough times as reduced staffing levels put them at risk of being displaced. What's more alarming is that these layoffs are just a piece of a much larger puzzle affecting Stellantis operations in the US, which employs about 52,000 workers. As things stand, the company has hinted that additional layoffs might be on the horizon as they continuously assess their production needs in light of a notable decrease in consumer demand for specific models. This brings about an unsettling question: how far will these cuts go? Can Stellantis find a way to stabilize its workforce while also addressing production requirements? And what about the United Auto Workers' response? A union's fury. The United Auto Workers is stepping up in a major way to voice its frustrations and concerns regarding the recent layoffs announced by Stellantis. This isn't just a minor disruption. This situation is affecting several of its assembly plants, including the Warren Truck Assembly plant and the Sterling Heights Assembly plant. And let me tell you, the response from the union's leadership has been nothing short of explosive. They are not just disappointed, they're raising their voices loud and clear, emphasizing the dire consequences that these layoffs will have on the workers and their families. The United Auto Workers has come out swinging against Stellantis, criticizing what they believe are unnecessary and poorly thought out layoffs that overlook the loyalty and contributions of the workforce. United Auto Workers Local 1700, which represents employees at the Sterling Heights Assembly plant, hit back with a powerful statement, calling these layoffs another slap in the face. For workers who have poured their hearts and sweat into their jobs, these decisions feel like a betrayal. It's a harsh reminder that to the company, they are often just numbers on a balance sheet, lost in a sea of business calculations. That's a tough pill to swallow for anyone who's worked hard day in and day out. Now, let's zoom in on United Auto Workers President Shawn Fain's sharply critical stance. He has made some serious accusations against Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares, claiming there's a pattern of mismanagement lurking behind these layoffs. Fain insists that the company isn't honoring the terms of the labor agreement they signed back in 2023. That's a big deal because it suggests a breakdown in trust, and trust is everything in labor relations. Members of the union are growing increasingly frustrated. How can you expect them to feel secure in their jobs when the company appears to be sidestepping its commitments amidst falling sales and necessary production adjustments? When we talk about job security, the stakes couldn't be higher. Union leaders are sounding the alarm about the future of their members' jobs. Stellantis has indicated that we might see further layoffs coming down the pipeline due to disappointing demand for certain models. That includes the Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, two heavy hitters in the lineup, which makes this situation all the more concerning for those involved. United Auto Workers representatives are rightly worried that these layoffs could initiate a domino effect throughout Stellantis and negatively impact thousands, yes, thousands of workers across different plants. It's a heavy atmosphere when people are left contemplating their futures with uncertainty lurking around every corner. Adding to the tension is the United Auto Workers' call for greater transparency from Stellantis regarding its operational decisions and plans for the future. Union officials are pushing hard for a clear line of communication. How will these layoffs truly impact the hardworking men and women on the assembly line? What steps will the company take to help those affected? The United Auto Workers wants answers, and they deserve to know what's happening behind the closed doors of corporate offices. In times like these, clarity can help pave the way for more trust and unity within the workforce. Now let's take a step back and consider consider the broader implications here. The automaker's decision to go through with layoffs isn't just a decision about numbers or financial outcomes. It impacts lives in a very real way. Each worker that receives a pink slip is not just losing a paycheck, but often their sense of identity and pride that comes from being part of a well-established community, one that's been built over decades in many cases. As we delve deeper into this situation, it's important to emphasize that the United Auto Workers is standing firm for their members, advocating for workplace rights, and fighting for what they believe is fair. The landscape of the automotive industry is evolving rapidly, and the challenges it faces are both significant and multifaceted. Declining sales figures, the increasing competition from electric vehicle manufacturers, and the pressure to innovate while still turning a profit make for a complicated mix. Stellantis, like many legacy automakers, must grapple with these pressures, but they shouldn't do so at the expense of their dedicated workforce. In the effort to streamline operations and cut costs, the company risks alienating the very people who make their products and keep the wheels turning, literally and figuratively. The call for higher transparency rings louder than ever before, and individuals within the United Auto Workers are prepared to hold Stellantis accountable. Open lines of communication could help in re-establishing some level of trust, but it all starts with leadership being willing to listen and engage with their workers. The continuing dialogue around job security highlights a critical intersection, a place where the needs and expectations of workers meet the realities of business decisions. Future outlook. Let's cut to the chase. Stellantis has a game plan, and it is all about revitalizing Jeep's image and offerings. They know that the key to attracting consumers back to the showrooms lies in groundbreaking model releases. What can we expect? First up, electrification. Stellantis is setting its sights on a bold goal, transitioning Jeep to an all-electric lineup by 2030. That's not just a pipe dream, it's a full-on commitment. You'll see electric renditions of iconic models like the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee hitting the market. This push toward electrification isn't merely a reaction to tightening global emissions regulations. It's a strategic move to tap into a burgeoning market segment that values sustainability just as much as they do adventure. What's next on the horizon? The unveiling of the Jeep Recon and Avenger models represents a significant pivot towards compact, urban-friendly vehicles. These new additions are crafted with a younger demographic in mind, those who crave versatility and eco-friendliness but aren't willing to compromise on the rugged essence that makes a Jeep, well, a Jeep. It is all about striking a balance between modern sensibilities and traditional Jeep toughness. And let's not forget about the luxury segment. The Grand Wagoneer is stepping onto the scene, set to battle it out with high-end competitors like Land Rover and Lexus. This isn't just a move to grab a piece of the luxury SUV pie. It's Stellantis' strategic ambition to court affluent buyers seeking premium features blended with that signature adventurous spirit Jeep is known for. Imagine cruising in a refined SUV that still dares you to hit the road less traveled. Market strategies. Stellantis knows that to successfully launch its new products, it must take a sharp look at its marketing strategies. It's not just about what they sell, it's about how they tell their story. First up is targeted advertising, a major focus area for the brand. Stellantis plans to harness data-driven marketing techniques to gain deeper insights into consumer preferences. This isn't just idle chatter. This is about crafting advertising campaigns that speak directly to the people they hope to attract. By zeroing in on key demographics, especially younger, environmentally conscious buyers, Jeep is aiming to breathe new life into its customer base. It's a move that shows they recognize the shifting tides in the market, and they intend to ride that wave. Next on the agenda is brand reinforcement. This is where Jeep's adventurous spirit comes back into play in full force. Stellantis is launching a concerted effort to redefine and reinforce Jeep's identity, positioning it as the ultimate brand for adventure seekers everywhere. Picture this: robust marketing campaigns that emphasize Jeep's legendary off-road capabilities while weaving in lifestyle imagery that resonates deeply with outdoor enthusiasts. The goal: to rekindle the loyalty of longtime fans who might have drifted away over the years. It's about reminding them of the thrill that comes with exploring the wilds behind the wheel of a Jeep. Then we have digital engagement, an increasingly vital component in the age of social media. In a world where young consumers live online, Stellantis plans to ramp up its digital presence through various social media platforms and online communities. It's not enough to just be there. They need to actively engage and create buzz. Interactive content will play a pivotal role in this strategy, with videos and posts that showcase new models in dramatic action. Imagine scrolling through your feed and seeing a Jeep tackle rugged terrain, splashing through mud, and conquering challenges on screen. That's what builds excitement and fosters a sense of community among Jeep enthusiasts. Wheels of change. The automotive industry is in the midst of a dramatic upheaval, shifting towards electrification at a pace that's hard to ignore. With governments around the globe tightening emissions regulations, the winds of change are blowing, and consumer appetite for electric vehicles is growing stronger by the day. This evolution presents not just hurdles, but also thrilling opportunities for Jeep. Let's talk about consumer expectations for a moment. These days, people aren't just thinking about gasoline-powered SUVs. They're actively searching for electric options in every vehicle category imaginable. That's a big deal. Jeep's commitment to electrifying its vehicle lineup is right on time, but there is a catch. It needs to be executed flawlessly to satisfy consumer demands for both performance and driving range. Imagine the thrill of hitting the road in a Jeep that's not just eco-friendly, but packs a punch on performance. That's the sweet spot Jeep needs to hit to win back the hearts of adventurous drivers. Now, let's address the competitive landscape, which has become a battleground filled with heavyweights. Brands like Ford, with its Mustang Mach-E, and Tesla are already making significant strides in the electric vehicle market. If Jeep doesn't act fast and deliver compelling electric models, it risks getting left in the dust, losing precious market share to these well-established innovators. It's a race against time, and Jeep needs to be at the forefront if it wants to keep up. But there's more. Let's not forget the economic factors at play. History shows us that economic downturns hit automotive sales hard. High inflation, rising interest rates, and shifting consumer spending habits can drastically change purchasing behavior. Consumers are feeling the pinch, and price sensitivity is through the roof. Jeep's past pricing strategies may have sidelined budget-conscious buyers, and in an era where wallets are tightening, it's crucial to offer more affordable options or at least compelling financing incentives. This could be the difference between maintaining sales or watching them slip through their fingers. The shift in consumer preferences during these economic uncertainties also can't be overlooked. When the going gets tough, consumers tend to prioritize practicality over luxury. It's only natural. They want reliable, versatile vehicles that don't break the bank. Brands that can rise to this occasion will likely come out on top, capturing the interest of buyers looking for smart investments. Moreover, the competition is heating up with the influx of new entrants into the automotive arena, especially those focused on electric vehicles. Startups like Rivian and Lucid Motors are grabbing consumer attention with their innovative designs and cutting-edge technology. It's a brave new world, and established brands like Jeep must not only innovate their product offerings, but also ramp up their customer engagement strategies to stay relevant in this evolving landscape. Let's not forget that traditional automakers are also making their moves. Companies like General Motors are pivoting toward an all-electric future, setting ambitious goals like 2035 to go fully electric. That's not just a strategy, that's a call to arms. Jeep must step up to the plate and clearly define its unique value proposition. With so many alternatives on the market, standing out isn't just a goal, it's a necessity. In conclusion, the path forward for Jeep isn't simply about transitioning to electrification, it's about navigating a complex landscape filled with challenges, shifting consumer preferences, and a rapidly evolving competitive environment. The stakes are higher than ever, and the pressure is on. Will Jeep rise to meet these challenges head on and redefine what it means to be an innovative, adventurous automaker? Or will it fall behind in the electric revolution? Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Jeep's current situation? Do you think Stellantis can successfully navigate these challenges and restore the brand's adventurous spirit? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.